quite a busy girl. I have been working on several things, specifically in regard to property taxes. I held my first property tax meeting this week and it was great. My plan is to trek through my state of Florida, different cities, counties, and educate people on the elimination of property taxes. So this video is going to be back and forth in the different topics that I want to talk about in regard to property taxes and how much money our government wastes and how elimination of property taxes can definitely be done, okay? So anyway, I was doing a little bit of research and I realized that we have a ton of money. Now this is federally, okay? But I'm also gonna narrow it down to statewide because here in the state of Florida, we are working hard, diligently to eliminate property taxes. So one of the things that I wanted to mention to you is that we, as American citizens, the state of Florida, also our country, has given over $180 billion of foreign aid to Ukraine. Okay, think about that. $180 billion of aid to Ukraine. We also have given collectively, altogether, $3 trillion to the state, this really small state of Israel, country called Israel, okay? We have also different states have invested or purchased bonds via state pension upward, in my state, just the state of Florida, $200 million. County, there's different counties, I wrote this all down, like Broward County, up to $5 million. Miami-Dade County, $6 million. Palm Beach County, $700 million, okay? So I do know, being from Florida and being in these counties, that there's a heavily large Jewish population there. But the main reason that I'm saying this is that the amount of money that we have invested in foreign countries in relation to our own state. That's why when I hear people say, well, how are we going to pay for this? What are we going to do with this? How are we going to pay for all of this stuff? When we're consistently sending out millions, billions, trillions of dollars of money to foreign countries, and yet not saying this is what we need to do. People don't need to be in food stamps or SNAP or benefits or whatever for all of their life and multiple generations. However, we're cutting aid here in our own country, yet sending out tons and tons of money, trillions of dollars, to other people who have no interest or investment here. Okay, so one thing that I wanted to mention to you, because there's so many people, one thing I do want to say is back Candace Owens, back Tucker Carlson. They are definitely pro-America first. They've been receiving lots and lots of flack lately because of them saying that, and people are upset and like, oh, you're this, you're that. Okay, plug your ears, ignore them, support them, because they are definitely America first. Okay, so with that being said, is like I was saying, there are so many different ways to go about elimination of property taxes by just looking at our federal government, just looking at the state of Florida. $200 million, okay? County, the pension money in Israeli bonds, okay? All of that money that we are investing in other countries instead of our own state. Okay, I'm going to stick with Florida now. Also, I've mentioned this before, Doge, the chief financial officer, Blaise Ngola, he has exposed upwards to, actually he's been trailing around lately and going to different counties, and we're probably in the billions by now. How much money these mayors have been caught and these different elected officials have been caught gouging Florida citizens, taxing them to death, and then saying, we need more. But instead, they're spending the money unwisely and just wasting it. So I'm going to tell you this. So I work in a company, I manage people, travel, So if this were me, if my boss has said, okay, we have a budget right here, I'm going to give you $100,000, okay? I need you to spend this money and help the employees, help company, do what you need to do with that. Okay, so let's say that I take 60% of that, I take $60,000 of the $100,000, and I go buy me this nice Lamborghini or this nice car, and then I have like $40,000 left to divide amongst a bunch of employees, and they're still lacking, I would be fired. Why don't we not just fire these politicians? Why don't we handcuff them, okay, and confiscate their stuff, see where they're getting all of their money from, and take all that money and divide it back to the people that they have been ripping off, the people who are paying their paychecks. This is what I do not understand. It is purely insane, the amount of spending that our government does. And then, needless to say, how are we gonna eliminate property taxes? Well, I just told you right there. You're sending money, foreign aid, to different places and not worried about your own people. It's almost like taking my nephew to Chuck E. Cheese, okay? He's never been to Chuck E. Cheese before, let's just say that, okay? But then I had the neighbor kid next door that's never been to Chuck E. Cheese, but I'm gonna take the neighbor kid next door to Chuck E. Cheese first, okay? No, I need to take my nephew to Chuck E. Cheese. And then once he has the experience, then I can take the other people if we have the extra funds for it, okay? So this is what they're doing. The priorities are so out of whack, and they're not worried about the people who live here. So, with that being said, property taxes, let's go back to that now that I have expressed how much money we have been spending in foreign aid to these different countries. I want to talk a little more about the property taxes. So like I said, I had my first meeting this week, and I have another one coming up in December in a different county, talking to different people. And I have been emailing, calling, doing everything I possibly can to reach these representatives, okay? What I have found is that no one's ever in their office, and the representatives that are saying that they're representing you are not representing, okay? Because there's currently 13 bills. The Governor DeSantis said, okay, I want the ballot in November 2026 say, elimination of property taxes, yes or no. But instead, the representatives that we put in place, right, they're supposed to be representing us, have 13 bills, and none of them say elimination of property taxes. They don't even come near it, okay? They don't even come near it. They say, okay, maybe we can relieve in this area, and if you're this old, or if you have this amount of money, none of them say eliminate a property taxes. So they're basically ignoring the governor. Okay, so all of this is set by the county. I want you to know that all of this, the property tax thing, is all set by the county. They set the prices. I have been digging so much into different mill rates. Mill is like a percentage, $1,000, every dollar you spend $1 in every $1,000 of the assessed value of your property. Okay, so I've been doing so many different mathematical things. All right, so I want to jump back into the amount of property taxes, and then also when I was mentioning about these different places that are sending money in here in Florida, that are sending money to other places. So one of them being Miami-Dade County, okay, right? So their county and their pensions send over $6 million. Sends over $6 million. So if you have property taxes, the average home, let's just say $300,000, okay? There is twice that much. I did the research, twice that much. If your home is about $300,000, you can basically say that your property taxes are going to be over $5,000. I would be homeless, and I don't see why Americans or Floridians are just sitting idly by. We have the best governor in the whole country. You can debate me on that. Feel free. But we have the best. Governor DeSantis is the best governor in the state, in the whole entire country, okay? And he is fighting for Floridians to have their property taxes eliminated before he slides out and does whatever by the end of next year, okay? So there are some, I mentioned before that I was going to talk about some potential governors or potential candidates that are running for governor here in Florida. There are some that I had my eye on, like, you know what, I possibly would probably vote for them. They seem like they're doing pretty good. I got so much information from digging into this property tax thing. Like, there's hardly any of them that I want to vote for, except for a couple. There's a couple that are doing good, that are backing up the proposal of the elimination of property taxes and also pushing for what Governor DeSantis is saying. There's a couple out there. So another thing that I wanted to throw out there for the Miami people is that there's a gentleman running in Miami. Their mayor position, it was like two neck and neck, like all these different candidates, so they did not get the 50%. So they're currently doing another runoff of elections for the top two candidates. One of the candidates, actually, I will put his name in the description box when this video is over so that you can make sure you vote for him. He's actually backing the governor's elimination of property taxes. He's backing the governor fully on that. So I wanted to let you know that you really, really, really should get behind politicians who are for eliminating the property taxes, and also call your representatives and say, hey, what's up with these 13 bills that don't say elimination of property taxes? We need to eliminate property taxes. Quit skirting around it. Quit trying to make things up. Quit trying to, put the word relief in there instead of elimination of property taxes. All Floridians want to eliminate their property taxes, all of us. So I will be working diligently on this. I wanted to share that information with you because a lot of people are like, well, how are we going to do this? How are we going? Do we not have enough money? We have more than enough money. Stop sending our money to foreign countries. Okay? Stop sending it there. Think about Americans who actually pay taxes here, pay your salaries. Think about those people. Think about representatives here in the state of Florida. Stop trying to be deceptive. Write a stinking bill that says elimination of property taxes. Do what the governor says. Represent your people in Florida. I told myself I wasn't going to get wound up because I'm just getting over a cold and my throat's been hurting me. But needless to say, I did not keep that promise to myself. So I just wanted to hop on here and share that with you all. I hope that was helpful. Share this video, more videos to come. This was so important to me that I thought I'd just hop on here live and just share this information. So new videos coming soon. Thanks so much for your support. See you on the next video. Thanks.